Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we're doing this again. Jordan hates it, so I've done some things. Now, usually the game would have us duel a load of people we've already fought and then go through a little gauntlet. I thought that's probably going to give him a fucking hernia, so I've already done that. I've also used a cheat to give me every single card, and I've modified my deck to make it as powerful as I possibly can. So hopefully that will help. So what we're going to do now, we've got 4 fights left, and they're pretty difficult. So, um, yeah, that's very stupid. Okay, here we go. Yes, the last 4, I think.
So this strikes me as actually it might not be very helpful for you to have a connections round to work through.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'd like to start with some of my topics first
No, no, of
because
course, yeah.
um, I sort of I was on the subject of TV shows, and I wanted to mention one TV show and got sidetracked, and I've got sidetracked again because I've got another one that I thought. um,
Yeah.
you heard about this Dexter revival?
You mean after the one that you wrote about a couple of years ago?
Yes.
No,
Uh,
I wasn't. There was
So
another.
new blood, which I thought was unfairly dismissed. The ending wasn't great, but I thought it had a lot going for it in other regards. Um, they're doing a prequel called
Oh, all
Dexter:
right.
Original Sin. And this is set in 1991, where
Ooh.
um, where Dexter has just joined the Miami Metro police station. Watch this, watch this. Oh look, I discarded and got one back. Tee hee. Right, I'm ready for you, fucking prick. Yes. So I'm sort of oh yeah, everybody has swords of revealing light, which is really stupid. I hate this game.
So this Dexter revival.
Yes, it's set in 1991. It's got all your fave characters like LaGuerta, the Squirter, whatever her name is, and whoever else. So I'm looking forward
Surprise,
to it.
motherfucker.
Yes, Dokes will be in it, presumably, and Deborah and Harry is in it as a character. That's good.
Well,
Um,
I'm not going to be so much older than they were.
what?
I'm assuming they're not getting the exact same actors in.
No, Harry's
Okay.
played by I can't remember his name. He's a fairly I can't remember. It's a fairly big name star. Look it up for me if you want.
All right, give me a minute.
Yeah,
Dexter original, then you said.
yes. But as somebody who liked Dexter, I'm sort of looking forward to it. Now, the trick, really, what you're trying to do in these duels is get your God card out. Because they won't be affected by any traps and they can beat over basically everything. So if you get that out, you're pretty much sold. Um,
Is it Christian Slater?
Christian Slater, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Though I know a lot of people have sort of rolled their eyes. I don't really care. I'm fine with as much Dexter content as you want to throw at me. Um, and as I say, I even liked First Blood for the most part. The ending wasn't
Oh,
great. Now, the TV
it's hard
show.
to stick a landing, isn't it?
Sorry.
Sometimes it's hard to stick for landing sometimes.
Well, I like the ending proposed for the original Dexter series. We've talked about it before, or at least I've mentioned it. Do you remember what it was?
Having not watched it, I vaguely recall it being something about him being lost at sea on a boat, but
No, I
not
mean
really.
the suggested ending, the
Oh
original
no,
intent.
no, I don't. I can't remember.
The original intent was that Dexter would get caught in the end of the series, and it would be
Hmm.
revealed that um, everything we've seen is a a flashback, and that he's in the death chamber, about to get the
Ah,
lethal injection, and he looks out on the gallery, and it's full of people he's killed or people whose lives have been ruined because of his actions. And I think that was a really clever um, play on his on the way he usually kills people because he puts up their pictures of their victims and stuff, and makes them look at them, whatever, doesn't he?
yeah.
Um,
The woman who played Rita was in the first series of Buffy.
well, it's interesting you mention that because that nicely segues me into another topic, the one I actually wanted to talk about. Um, is that the woman who played Rita was in a series called Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, God, not that fucking show.
Do you not like Desperate Housewives?
No, not particularly.
Why not?
It's just tedious and annoying.
Yes, it wasn't always great. Um,
I saw more of it than I wanted to.
but it was sort of my not massively. I did watch it a bit. I sort of want to watch it from the beginning, to be honest with you. Um, I don't know. It's sort of escapism, I guess. Fun drama, scandal, kind of. I don't know. Um, but look, it's rare that women of a certain age are allowed to do things. You know, in a series. That's something. Um,
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
but it was a really big show at the time. I remember it being huge, and it sort of doesn't really get talked about much these days. It's sort of fallen into obscurity a bit, as many things have. It's sort of a reminder that I am recording. I am fucking for a second there, just for a second. It's sort of a reminder that most things will be forgotten. You know,
Yeah, they will.
so yes.
Especially us.
Well, probably, almost certainly. But I'd like to leave something of an impact, such as I can.
Good luck with that.
Well, you know. Okay. You know, even if it's just some books I wrote.
Yes, I think it would be nice to be remembered for having done something.
Bag. Yeah.
But I won't get my hopes up.
Not on like a national scale, but if there's just a bit of me out there in a book or something, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Have you got some more?
Uh, no, I've sort of extinguished the Desperate Housewives chat. Um, oh shit, that's not good. That's really not good. Yeah. All right, off you go.
Shall we? Shall we do the connections?
Yes, please.
Alrighty then. Why am I going to fucking make that thing? Okay,
I do have more topics, incidentally.
that's
I
fine.
don't want to do them now. But just so you know, I'm not completely out. I've got a couple more. I think. Go on.
I've
I'm
got a
keen.
few. You sure? You sure you're ready for this?
Yeah, I'm just. This is going surprisingly well, and it's a little bit worrying.
Well, I mean, it's going to if you cheat your ass off.
Yeah. True that.
Okay, so equal rights,
Yeah.
sorcery,
Yeah.
Eric.
And these are all things that are massively overrated in the year 1996. What's
No,
this
no, that is not.
GQ magazine's most overrated things of 1996? Equal rights
No,
and Eric.
that is not the answer.
Is it a music thing? It's usually a music thing with you, isn't
It's
it?
not a music thing.
All
It's
right.
not.
That's rare.
Well, I've got more. There's a total of 41 on this list.
Hmm.
I'm trying to pick the ones I think you're less likely to get it from
Okay.
at the moment. So
Kind of
I
you.
can go with more if you want me to give you more.
Well, yes, please.
Moving pictures,
Okay.
lords and ladies,
Yeah.
soul music.
So these are all things, aren't they?
These are all connected in some way.
Uh,
These are all things that have been connected in some way.
yeah. That's the trick, isn't it? It's finding out how, isn't it?
It is. That's kind of the whole game here.
These are all. What the fuck does Eric fit into this?
Well, it's for you to work out.
Don't know. More, please.
Interesting times,
Yeah.
feet of clay,
Mhm.
the truth.
Well, those sound like titles of songs or books, I guess. Is that
Okay, so one of
uh,
those is correct.
okay? So they're all book titles.
They are all book titles. Now, the question is, what specifically connects these books?
Okay, please give me some more.
Okay, so what was the last one I said for truth? Okay, so you've got The Last Hero,
Mm-hmm.
Monstrous Regiment,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
Winter.
are these all Terry Pratchett books?
They are all Terry Pratchett books. Well
Yes,
done.
that
What one?
regiment, the regiment one, for some reason stood out to me.
You see,
Uh,
I was trying to work out from that section because I was trying to do them in order as well.
yeah,
So you had the We Free Men, which
mm,
is quite a well-known one. A
that
Hatford
one.
of Sky, which is quite well known.
No,
Going Postal, which Sky did a thing for.
I would have
Fudge,
gotten
which
that.
I feel like was well known, and Wintersmith.
I would have gotten very few. Is there one called the Four Elephants or something? I probably would have gotten that.
There's one called The Fifth
The
Elephant.
Fifth Elephant. I used to have a copy of that.
Um, do you want to see how many you can name from this list?
Um,
It's
the
worth noting these are specifically the Discworld novels.
so is the Hogfather going to be on there?
The Hogfather is on there. That was his 20th book, released in 1996.
Okay.
20th Discworld novel, released in 1996.
Uh, there was so it was something about werewolves or wolves.
I'm just
Oh,
looking. I think there was stuff in there. I don't know if
I
there's
think that
any.
was. I vaguely recall a title seeing like that wonderful artwork they had on those titles, and I think I read the description and mentioned like a werewolf war thing. This is the last duel. Let's see how this pans out.
Oh, there's no with a title that specifically
No, that's
looked to me.
fine. That's fine. It's probably a description.
Uh, can you think David Jason played
Forty
a
thousand
character?
life points.
That's quite a lot.
40,000. If I wasn't cheating, how the fuck? Well, I got my god card and I got my other discard thing. Oh, fuck you.
David
Ah,
Jason
fuck.
played a character in a TV adaptation of two of
The
these,
Darling Buds of May.
and Tim Curry was in there as well,
I
along with Nigel Planer, who was in a few, and David Bradley as Conan the Barbarian.
I honestly couldn't. A very elderly Conan the Barbarian, one presumes.
But that's the point. Is that Conan the Barbarian within the Discord series has become a legend in his own lifetime
Oh, right.
because of how old he is. He's lived long enough to have become a legend. Like his acts are legendary because of how long ago they were, but he's so fucking old.
I don't know.
Um, the Color of Magic
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Light Fantastic.
Oh, that vaguely rings a bell.
Yeah. You probably also have heard of Guards potentially.
No,
Carpe Jugulum.
no.
The Amazing Morris and His Educated Rodents.
Rings a vague bell.
I would have most likely mentioned it to you
Mm.
because that was my introduction to him. It's his first young action story,
Mm.
and it's a retelling of a Pied Piper with the rats and a cat and the piper all being in on it and going to a town like in on it together as part of a con.
Oh, right.
And the town they go to has a dark rat related mystery going on. That,
Did you
it's
ever read the
all
Ilmore Chronicles? Probably
no.
not. I've read a bit of them when I was a kid. They were sort of Terry Pratchett, one of the many people influenced by Terry Pratchett, and they had that first book was about the Pied Piper esque
Yeah.
character, and he went through like a wormhole, and there was a wizard, a Gandalf type wizard, who sort of fell through with him. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Um,
I've got some bad news for you.
it's nearly over.
Yeah, I've done the sacred cards thing, where I thought this would last longer. Usually it does because it's such a hard duel, but I've cheated like a little bitch. So,
Why is this bad news?
well, because I need to fill.
I suppose, yeah.
But it's fine. We've
Uh,
got
there's
enough
also
knowledge.
there's also Snuff and the Shepherd's Crown,
Hmm.
which was of course the posthumously released
Hmm.
book because of his untimely. I say untimely. He was, you know, he had his issues, but it's untimely death. And the only reason I thought of this is because he came up, or rather, he was the answer to a quiz question on the BBC Radio 2 Quiz of the Thursday quiz. It was who was the author of the Discworld series, and I was like, oh, that'd be a nice connection round, isn't it? And they didn't. I don't think they knew who it was from what they were saying, but I didn't stick around long enough to hear.
You do love your Terry Pratchett, don't you?
I do.
Have you got them all?
No, I want to, but the trouble is, there's 41 just in the Discord series, so it's not a small collection to collect.
True that.
And not only that, but then it's iffy about what order you do them in as well. Then some of them are a bit not that interesting to me. Like there's various series within the big series, and some of them you're best watching in order, reading in a particular order, because they overlap and they're like concurrent and all that kind of crap. So you have to have some very serious thought. I mean, there's always the argument for read them in the order they were released, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes the story's better if you do it in a different order. Like the Star Wars saga probably plays out better now, really, if you do it in chronological order, right? Really.
Or alternatively,
shotgun method.
Get to the chopper. Yes, you could just watch the original ones and ignore the other ones.
What you could do is you could watch the original ones, and then when Obi-Wan is talking about Anakin in his hut, you watch the entire prequel trilogy in that section. Cut back to A New Hope right afterwards, and then just ignore the sequels.
Wasn't this? I think there was something. Yeah, I hope you like massive fucking cutscenes because this is going to be a long one.
Oh, it's fine because you've got to fill them anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm sure I saw something that said the optimum way to watch the Star Wars films, and they were like, you should watch The Phantom Menace, and then you should watch A New Hope and Empire, and then you need to watch Revenge of the Sith, and then Attack of the Clones. It was one of those weird ones.
It's the machete method, not the shotgun method. So apparently the final machete order is A New Hope, Empire, Phantom, Attack, Revenge, Return, and then all the sequels. So yeah, they reckon that.
Oh, they gave up with the fucking sequels then, didn't they? They wove everything together and then just said, oh yeah, they're fucking just watch everything else.
Well, it's the first two films that they released, and then the prequels, then Return of Jedi, and then the sequels. So I suppose.
What's their argument for watching the prequels there?
Because at that point we've sort of understand that Darth Vader is more than just Darth Vader. So now we get to see the making of Darth Vader, I suppose.
I guess, yeah, that sort of makes sense. That's probably the moment in a TV show where you'd have like maybe not a flashback episode, but you'd have a bit where it sort of discusses that.
Yeah, let me just see if I can explain. Okay, yeah. No, it doesn't necessarily. To propose the idea is that you experience a prevented plot twist and the exciting cliffhanger at the end of Empire. You'll jump into the prequels and watch them as if they are one big flashback, exploring Anakin's descent into the dark side. But so yeah, that's basically the explanation that we. At one point, I would quite like to watch them all, like in a day. I'd like marathon them.
I would. Maybe that's something we could potentially do together.
Yeah, I mean, when I say that, I would kind of want to do it with the two anthology ones as well.
What?
It would be 11 films I'd want to watch.
So what? 3, 6, 9, and then what are the other two?
Well, the two
Rogue One and
Solo. Yeah.
You wouldn't do the Well, I kind of fucking hate Star Wars.
I know. I wanted to do it independently of you wanted to do it. I just.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should. That seems like a fun idea, but I think by the time we get to the sequel trilogy, I'm sort of like, okay, I'm sort of done with this.
There was something I was marathoning something with someone. I can't remember what it was, and we only got like 2 films in before we gave up on it. But very much, if I'm watching a thing, I want to watch the thing. right?
I once had to watch all the Fast and Furious films when I was in sixth form because two of the people I hung out with wanted to do it. And let me be honest with you, they sort of meld together pretty fucking easily.
They jumped the shark so much in that.
Well, I remember they went to Japan in one, and I liked that one because I like Japan. And then Vin Diesel or The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in one, and I liked him because he's got charisma,
Was
whereas
the one
Vin
where they went
Diesel
to,
does not.
was the one
He
where they went to Japan? Was that Tokyo Drift? Presumably.
presumably, yes. No, Tokyo Drift was set in Ohio. Weirdly enough.
Ah, funnily enough, I would never have guessed.
Oh my god, yeah, show us fucking all these side characters we've come to know and love.
You specifically said these we need to stall for this, so fucking
I
be
know,
thankful.
but I'm still going to be doing stuff. We'll get into a few duels after this. We burn through our
It's not
topics.
the
Yeah, I look. I like this game story-wise. Genuinely, it's just it's so fucking hard and mean-spirited gameplay-wise. Like it wants you to get angry and it wants to punish you. Now you haven't got that experience because, as I say, I've cheated like a little bitch. But it's always very cathartic for me because when I was a kid, I played Sacred Cards, which is a lot easier, as we've seen, and this. And I always thought, if only I could take the deck I use in Sacred Cards, then I'd kick all these fucking arseholes. And now I can.
well, you know.
I don't feel under any obligation to play fair if the game is not playing fair in and of itself.
Well, I mean, if it's not quite breaking the rules, but you know, if it's rewritten the rules to the point where it is stacked against you, it is only fair for you to play by your own set.
You cannot give multiple bosses like tens of thousands of life points and 3 copies of cards I can only use 1 copy of and expect me to give a shit about anything akin to fairness. You have thrown fairness out the window. I didn't ask for a challenge. I'm fine with a challenge, if people want to play a challenge version, but that should be my choice. You have
If you
forced me
like
to play it like that.
if you like a challenge every now and again, you should play Dark Souls.
No.
I can't get into Dark
No,
Souls.
I
It's
couldn't.
repetitive and tedious. And
I played a bit of it.
I wish I had it. I want to try Elden Ring because apparently that's a bit more forgiving.
Mm.
It's installed. I've got all the 3 Dark Souls games and Elden Ring all installed on SD cards for me to at some point play and try seriously. But I probably won't. I think I wanted to push through for the sake of writing for the site, but I don't need to do that anymore because of my decision to cut back and just do the music bits. I don't have to write anything for the site now for a month and a half.
No. I really would like to write some short stories again. It's like flash fiction or something. It's a shame. I mean, it's almost worth suggesting a writing group at my place of work, but I don't know whether anybody would be interested.
I'm
Maybe.
not particularly close to anyone at work anymore.
Hmm?
No, I wouldn't really.
Are you still keen to leave?
I think so. I was eyeing up that job I mentioned, but I think the pay cut's just a bit too much.
That's
at this
fair.
point.
Well, I mean, I suppose my place of work is genuinely too far, and you wouldn't be interested if another job in our finance team came up, would you?
Realistically, not without having to have some very serious thinking about my son's education, because it's at that point I have to take him to school right now, and obviously timing wise and all that, I commute, and I would not be able to get back in time to pick him up.
No. Or you could move to where I live.
And then there's a distance between me and my partner,
Uh,
which I already don't get to see enough of.
True.
Now take it from a 5 to 10 minute drive down to it's what, 45 minutes
Something like
from
that.
here to
Well,
so that's an hour and a half round trip. that's not going to happen as often as the 10-minute trip is happening.
If one comes up, I will mention it to you with no expectation.
If it's fully remote, get me on board.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I could do a fully remote job anywhere.
Yeah, you could.
But
Oh
no,
my
man.
fucking god, get on with it.
And obviously, the job I was eyeing up is a council adjacent job, isn't it? And that might be a bit iffy if I'm meant to be standing for councillor next year. So it's probably for the best anyway.
Maybe.
Although, to be fair, I would absolutely give up. I've been added into a Lib Dem campaigning WhatsApp group for the general election. I muted it because they were pissing me off with the frequent notifications. I could just leave it, but I don't want to cause a scene because Neil will bloody ring me up and say, "Jordan, what are you? Everything all right?" I'm like, "No, Neil, my mental health can't take you guys talking about fucking campaign leaflets and posters and placards and bollocks I don't give a fuck about because it's a waste of time around here." I was looking at this because it came up in conversation at work, actually. Normally, our site has had all the elections that I've been aware of whilst I've been working there. So over the last 12 years, we had 2019, 2017, 2015. Yeah?
Yeah.
All those elections, we have had a vote Conservative thing on our fence next to our main entrance because our boss, our big boss, is Pally with our MP. Right? That's fine. If they want to be pals, that's none of my concern. But I would rather they don't advertise for a political party on our site. Right? It's not up to me. I don't have any say in it whatsoever. But I'd rather it not be the case. Yeah.
Fucking ruling classes sticking together. Arseholes.
Well, exactly. There isn't one this year.
Lol.
I noticed today whilst I was getting back from lunch. I made a point of looking because I'd thought about it the other day. And I was like, yeah, well, I need to have a look. So I've not been in site, not been on site since last week. So I had a little look, and there isn't one there. And it just came up in conversation because I was having a bit of a shit day. And I said to my line manager, who about 2 minutes after I walked in asked how I was, and I said, "I'm really not in the mood for any of this bullshit." And then I got left alone for most of the day. So that's a get out of jail free card.
Tip, kids.
So yeah, so I was like, this is something that actually made me smile, and I'm going to share it with you because I know you'll appreciate it as well. And it was about that, and yeah, it cheered me up a bit. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so like, I'm not in the mood for the election right now, and having to engage with it on anything other than a superficial level. There is an election happening. It's about as much as I care right now. You know, I've not read any of the manifesto stuff. I've not watched any of the debates. I've seen a few memes. Apparently, Rishi Sunak didn't have Sky TV
as a kid. Yeah, because he was so poor, and also it wasn't a thing.
I saw a meme before we were starting of what's his name? You know, the patriarch from Royal Family.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
He
was in Brookside as well.
Yeah, he apparently there's one where for Christmas they get him Sky TV, and I saw a clip of that, and it was like Rishi Sunak's 18th birthday.
Yes, I mean that strikes me more as a whole. Back in my day, we didn't have luxuries like iPhones. We're not spoiled like today's kids, because an iPhone is the height of luxury. If you're an arsehole.
You haven't got one?
No, I haven't. I'm not an arsehole.
No, but do you or do you not wish that you still had an iPhone?
You know, I've really come round to this phone.
Only because you got no choice for the next year and a half.
Well, now that I've found something that I can put music on, and also disabled the voice assistant, because for some reason, whenever I played Making Your Mind Up by Bucks Fizz, it triggered the voice assistant.
What's the assistant called on that?
What? Oh, I don't know. It's the Samsung Fuck Buddy or whatever the hell. I don't know. Okay.
I'm very aware that it's very hard to get out of the iPhone cult once you're in it. I mean, for a while I had a Windows HTC phone, right, and that was a fucking mistake because it was a fucking nightmare. But now that I've got Apple, it would be more hassle to leave Apple than it is to just stay.
Yeah.
So I'll just say, all I want from a phone is convenience.
Yeah, I don't need much.
I'm not going to fuck about
Oh
now.
shit! You see that? You
So
see
it's
that
all clicking a
scan?
little over.
Yeah.
Yes, I see.
I'm going to leave that on just so you get a slight hint of the bullshit we would have had to deal with. Every time I do anything, that is going to happen. Ugh.
Hooray.
Yeah, see, I don't really use my phone for too much. As long as it works with music and I can get on Reddit, I'm sort of fine.
Yeah. I mean, again, I use Spotify for my music.
Well,
I don't know what crap you're listening to. You can't find it on Spotify. But...
Is the last of the Summer Wine theme on Spotify? I think not.
Why are you wanting to listen to the Last of Summer Wine thing?
Because it's quaint.
Tell you what, I'm going to search now whilst I'm on it. I don't need to register to vote. Why are you advertising voting to me? Last of the Summer Wine theme has apparently been searched. Hang on. Is that sufficiently summery and winey?
Well, I can't hear it.
Oh, hang on. Okay. Let me. So I don't want to get us demonetized even more, but.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
I've literally got it right next to the microphone. So how the fuck you can't hear that? I don't know.
Okay, fuck's sake.
No, not that one.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear it now? Can you hear that now underneath my voice? Because that's the sort of thing that's going on underneath my right next to the mic. So how the hell, you know? Point is, it's there. It's
Yeah,
literally right.
I could hear it. Yeah. Well, who the fuck cares?
Point is, the one thing you came out with
Oh,
didn't even take that long.
Fuck you and fuck your Spotify.
Look, it works. It does the job.
Oh, who cares? So does what I've got.
And there's podcasts on there, and there's audiobooks now.
So fucking what? I do use Spotify. I use Spotify to listen to podcasts.
Yeah, well.
But I don't give a shit about Jesus, about you know, using it for music. You know what? I really can't be fucked with this whole thing. This whole fucking scan thing. It fucking pisses me off. I hate this game.
Don't play it then.
I hate it and like it in equal measure. Oh yeah, we can do the Hall of Eternity.
Means you're indifferent to it.
And these are the tough ones. Let's have a go at this, shall we?
Do you want to pick a topic?
Yeah, go on.
List of topics. Get through these topics.
Have you got many left?
One.
Okay, I've got 1, 2.
There's 2 I can't be asked to do.
I'll do the ones you can't be asked to do as well.
No, I don't want to. I can't be asked.
Well, tell me what they are.
Well, they might be on your list, so
okay.
Let's go.
I heard a story about Florida Man.
Okay.
This is somebody. He coughed and sneezed at the same time, and his intestines fell out.
Fell out of where?
A surgical wound.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense. When I saw the headline, I was like, "Oh fucking hell! I didn't know that was a thing." That's something I've got to worry about now, is it?
That's something that they should mention in the headline, right? Not like you shouldn't have to read to find out where they fell out of.
Yeah, as if it's perfectly healthy man. They just sort of fell out. No.
Jesus Christ, that's terrible. I feel bad for it, man.
Oh, this is a nice coincidence. When I was doing my off-screen stuff, I came across this card. Now, in reality, this is an effect monster, but of course they have to add descriptions for all the effect monsters that they get rid of the effects for. This is what they put. A legendary dragon of the Orient with 8 serpent-like heads. It easily succumbs to the allure of alcohol.
Okay.
What a weird choice.
It's a drunk snake.
Dragon thing, yeah.
Wow.
So that was just something that that caught my eye in the week. Fuck.
Yeah.
Go on.
Have you heard about the cartoon character that has interfered with an upcoming election count?
Oh, I don't know.
This is Bluey.
Oh,
Bluey, the lovable cartoon dog from Australia,
60,000 life points. Fuck me. Yeah, go on.
has interfered with the election count because, or at least the council in East Sussex, Brighton and Hove City Council, sorry, were planning to book the Brighton Centre from 3rd to 5th July, with the election happening on the 4th. But they were unable to do so as the venue had already been booked for Bluey's big play.
Oh.
It's a stage performance thing that's going to be taking place there, and so they've had to go to another venue, a sports venue, which is going to stop people from being able to do sports stuff in the sports venue over the 3 days.
Well, you need to get in quick with your bookings, don't you?
Yeah, and obviously, you know, no one can really fault Bluey for it, but I mean, those Australians coming over here and interfering with our.
I don't know, Bluey
vote.
was Australian.
Yeah, Australian. Decent show for what I've seen of it.
No, I'm
It's,
just thinking of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Oh, not again. I heard enough about bloody documentary you were watching.
They didn't.
I heard a lot more of it than you know I did.
What did you hear?
Oh, I can't remember it now, but you were like, you literally said, "Oh, I was just watching this Priscilla, Queen of the Desert documentary." I was like, "Yes, I heard." I could hear it. So, you know, it's not like I was well aware of the thing. Whilst I was doing whatever it was I was doing, playing my game or why do we hang out whilst that's going on? Why don't I just let you get on with it?
I fucking tell you don't need to, but you insist on being there.
I feel guilty
Why?
leaving you. I'm not going to bother this week. I'm just going to piss off and do what I want.
Oh, well, I'll miss you now, actually.
Tough tits.
You have to.
Actually, I might. I want to just see what's going on in the calendar. So I might be able to. It's not likely. Ugh. For fuck's sake. Never mind.
2 god cards, bitches. I actually think Obelisk is probably the weakest of the god cards in a sense. Its effect allows you to destroy all the cards on your opponent's side of the field and do 4,000 damage. But I can easily get the Winged Dragon Aurora out by discarding, and Cypher's going to have a shit ton of attack points. So.
Hmm. Do you want another topic? Do you want to say another topic?
Yeah, go on. Give me one of your shitty ones.
No.
Why not?
Because I can't be asked with it. It's pointless.
I wouldn't even mind knowing what it was, to be honest with you.
Well, like I say, maybe on your list. So you first.
Okay. We had that doctor, the TV doctor.
Well, that's one of them. So there we go.
Yes, Michael Mosley.
Mosley, who I keep when I mentioned it to my partner, I said Max Mosley, for mixing him up with the Formula One Nazi sex party guy.
Yes.
Briefly.
Yes.
Yes, Michael Mosley.
Yes, he died in Greece.
Yep. Had a first for knowledge.
Yeah.
Stood at sculpture at St Martin's College.
What?
No, it's common people.
What are you talking about?
You're just such an uncultured swine, you aren't you?
Yes, he died. I don't know how
He
he
did.
died, but he
Natural
died.
causes.
He's not the sort of person I thought about, but then I realised, oh yeah, I have seen him on things before, haven't I?
Probably.
So yeah, very very sad.
They say he died of natural causes. Most likely he
Fell.
because he was climbing and it was quite a bad temperature. So I reckon he probably took a wrong turn, stopped somewhere, and then just couldn't carry on. Died of exhaustion. Was the impression I got. Which is
somewhat weird because apparently he was not that far from a bar.
Well, you know what it's like, in situations like that, or perhaps you don't. You'd be surprised how
Right.
easy it is to die in the wild. Like, a lot of people go missing in America's national parks, and people say, oh, it's Bigfoot, or there's something sinister going on. And no, it's just people walk off the main path, get turned around, can't find it again. Fall down a hill.
When I say not that far from a bar, I mean within eyesight.
All right.
It's not like 5-minute walk away. Like apparently they saw something that from his bar, they saw something that looked like it might be a bit suspicious, and it turned out to be him. So
Well,
it's delirious, I suppose, from over exhaustion. It happens. It's unfortunate, but
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Very sad. Very sad indeed.
give us another one.
That's what I've got.
Oh, okay. I was playing. How familiar are you with the Far Cry games?
Not very.
Okay, I was playing a bit of Far Cry 4 recently, because I couldn't get free working. And so I was playing Far Cry 4, and it struck me just how likable the bad guy is. Because don't get me wrong, your first introduction, the bus that you're on to try and get into the country of choice is stopped by the army under his control. They start shooting at people on said bus. He turns up, and because the shooting happened, he specifically said stop the bus. And stop the bus sounds nothing like shoot the bus. And so he stabs the guy who fucked it up, basically, right in front of you, and then takes you away. And this is all cutscenes, so there's nothing you can do about it. But there's this whole thing where if you hang about, at the end of this cutscene, you're given the opportunity to try and leave, right? You're all alone. So you can't get into any danger until you've opted to leave, until after you've decided to leave. But he does specifically say, just wait here, I'll be right back. And if you wait, he helps you do the thing you went to the country to do, which is to put your mother's ashes at a particular place. It turns out this place is where her daughter's ashes are. But this daughter that you don't know anything about. So, like, he's actually the good guy in that perspective, in a way. Because the whole game's objective is to do that one thing. Whereas if you do it the other way, you become a terrorist / freedom fighter in an attempt to overthrow the government, kill a fuck ton of people in the way, get into all sorts of drug use, and then eventually put the ashes where they need to be. But like you do it the other way, and actually,
Fuck
and he's
off.
quite good as well. Very charismatic character.
This guy has so many fucking. Yeah. Well, I don't really know a lot about Far Cry. Is that like Just Cause? I only know Just Cause because it was on Let's Drown Out.
I wouldn't say that they're similar, really. And they've probably got their similarities in places, but I'd say they're very different in terms of how they play. Far Cry 5 is a weird one as well, actually, because the bad guy is a religious leader, religious cult leader in America, who reckons that the apocalypse is coming, nuclear apocalypse is coming. And at the very end of the game,
he's right.
He's right.
Lol.
And he drags you into a bunker, and the end of the game is he's got you as the last, or one of the last few cult members. But he's gonna turn you into a cult member by brainwashing you over the course of however fucking long it takes. Was in his in the safety of his bunker, quote unquote safety. And yeah, so it's a fucking But yeah, he's right. It turns out he's right in the end. It's a bit of a downer, really, as an ending. There is no positive ending to that game, because you either have that, or you have one where you go to leave without trying to arrest her at the start, and as part of it, you
some song comes on the radio and it fucking triggers some sleeper cell thing
What a
inside.
fucking
You don't
great
know anything.
hand. Fuck you. Fuck you. Well, there's so many games I haven't played.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot.
Well, the more I think about it tonight, the more keen I am to do this word association thing, at least for me. I think we'll probably do a few of them, and then I'll do, a game I actually want to play. So, yeah. How's Buffy going? Are you still enjoying it?
Yeah, we had a body swap episode where bad guy or bad girl from last season body swapped with Buffy, seduced her boyfriend,
Oh.
was a bit raunchy. Someone picked it up beforehand. Someone who hadn't even met Buffy could tell that it wasn't right. And took a little while, and then they solved the problem at the end of the day.
Good.
Because that's what happens. I'm most of the way through season 4 now. I know that at some point, Buffy's mum's going to die because of spoilers.
Aww.
And I'm sort of like, well, I know it's coming. It's going to happen at some point. And I know that at some point we're going to have an introduction to what is, I believe, meant to be her younger sister.
How many seasons are there?
7 seasons.
Fuck.
And like I say, I'm most of the way through season 4. So, yeah. We've had some of the iconic lines already. Like there's one where Spike, who I'm sure you'll remember,
Yes.
is asked if he's a particular person, and he says, "No, I'm just an old friend of Xander's," but in his very bad American accent, and that's a well-known line from the show.
My colleague went to like a convention thing where he was, and her mum had a real thing for him.
Yeah, Caden quite liked him,
and she was quite let down because he seemed very old.
Well, I mean, it was
I fucking hate
20
this.
years ago, wasn't it? So,
I've got a few series I'd quite like to watch when I get my own place. I'd like to, because I've had quite a good time TV-wise recently. I've had Inside Number 9 and Doctor Who and House of the Dragon is starting, and it sort of made my week. Some of these things that have popped up. So I think I'm gonna, when I get my house, I'm gonna get some box sets. I'm gonna treat myself to an episode once a week or something. So I want to do the Twilight Zone and Columbo and the X-Files as well. Come to think of it, yeah. Oh fuck you! Just give me a fucking break, man. Thank you. I finally get some damage on the board. You fucking prick.
No, I specifically make the time to watch stuff by doing it whilst I'm exercising, so it makes things a lot. Although I sort of gave up on my exercise for today, about halfway through because I couldn't be asked for it.
Slippery slope though, man. I've stopped and started a lot.
I did some. I did not do the full episode because I just couldn't be asked. My head's not in the right space for it today.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I keep saying I have to, because I need, because I'm getting older, right, and I need to sort of reevaluate the way I look. And I think one of the things you can do to help with losing your hair is to gain a little bit of muscle mass.
Yeah.
And I don't have much, and I really need to get ahead of the curve on this and set myself up a little bit. So I absolutely have to do that. I'm thinking of getting an exercise bike as well. So I have to do it. Oh shit, I have to do it.
I can at least take solace in the fact that I walked to go get my lunch today,
Oh, that's something.
rather than driving around to the shop. You know, like, weather was nice enough for it. I figured I might as well. I mean, it took a turn afterwards, but it's not a problem, is it?
No.
I like a 15-minute walk, but it's 15 minutes more than I would have done. I started logging the walk from when I go to pick my son up from school, like from the car to the place where I'm actually picking him up and dropping him. To not during like when I've picked him up from school on a normal day, like I know when I'm working in the office, but when I'm working from my work, because like there's serious actual walking and it takes some actual time.
I might have just lost this. I didn't really have much of a choice. What fucking good are you?
I'll tell you what, it's a good job this fight doesn't really matter then, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was doing quite well in this Hall of Eternity. There's a thing you can get which gives achievements to old games like this, and one of the achievements is to beat everybody in this without having to go back home. But I haven't managed that.
No, I'd be surprised if you
But
did.
have you got any more topics?
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, I don't know where we've been going because I'm going to call it now anyway. 55 minutes. Fuck it, that'll do. Probably going about 40 odd in the actual record. So, yes, what have you made of this game? Yeah.
It didn't grip me.
Well, no. No, I shouldn't think so. No. What does this do? I can't remember. Well, we've had some fun, some yucks. But, what do you say, Taya? You've done fuck all. You are fucking useless. What a useless fucking bitch. Just a pointless character in this game. Yeah, yeah, this has been somewhat cathartic. I've said all I have to say on the matter. Now, next week is New Game Week. Me, isn't it?
It's yeah.
So
Should be.
I could jump into another big project. Maybe Black Mesa or Destroy All Humans 2, or we could do a thing right now where we pick a random word and then I have to find a game that suits it and we try and expand my horizons. What do you think?
I think it's entirely up to you, seeing as this year is going to have to play it.
Any advice? Do you think maybe... Can you see it going horribly badly?
Well, I don't think it go horribly badly. I mean, worst case scenario, you have to play a game you don't like week. And that's it. That's like worst case scenario. Is that you get a game, you don't like it. Although I would say that if you are going to get a game, if it's going to end up you're going to get it through Steam. For the love of God, don't play it before we start recording.
Why not?
Because you can refund a game up to 2 hours of gameplay.
Oh.
And if you play it for much before we start recording, you're going to eat into that. You're going to use that 2 hours up, and you're not going to be able to refund it.
Well, on the plus side, I might end up finding something else I really like.
You absolutely might. You absolutely might. But if you're apprehensive about the fact that you're going to buy a game, for the love of God, wait until you're actually recording it before.
Or I could get something cheap off Good Old Games or something.
Oh yeah, it'll do something like that.
Yeah. So let's fuck it. Let's try that. See how that goes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves. Pick a bookshelf.
Third.
Okay. Pick a number between 1 and 3.
2.
Left, right, or middle.
Middle.
Okay. Book I've selected is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. So pick a number between 1 and 4, 5, 8.
What's the page they need to turn to in the Harry Potter?
364, something like that.
Something like that. Go for that one.
394. 394. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick a number between 1 and 16.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1 or 2.
1.
Oh, that's a relief. So, the two words on this line are touched something. So you could have gone for something.
Oh, well.
Instead, my word is touched.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I just have to find something that fits the theme or relates in some way to the word touch. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how that plays next time. Bye.
Bye.